downscale it, but when you upscale it, it looks like crap.
Then we look at the
FMC.
FMC. Choose the
And
arrival.
now we have a big white box.
So as you can see, when you hit departure arrival, at the moment it still gives us the arrival for Dubai, basically until we get about halfway across the route, halfway distance of the flight plan departure airport. And once we've passed the halfway mark, or 400 miles, but in this case on this route it will be the halfway mark, and then the computer looks at the destination airport.
Let's say about like that.
Another thing as well that the computer does, or the system does, is to look at the departure airport initially, is on the pressurization. The landing altitude is set for the departure airport. On this route is not gonna show a difference because Doha is also at sea level, so it will be 0. But if, for example, the destination airport was like 500 feet elevation, then I would still, at this stage, it would still show the elevation of Dubai and then show the elevation of the destination once we pass the halfway mark. So that's a little thing to know about the aircraft system and how it works. Right, so as we still have Dubai arrivals, we'll go to the index, and then we'll take OTHH arrival, and then it's giving us the
sweater stitchers.
Arrivals.
Here's to the leaf blowers
so
who
we'll
blow
go
our
LS
leaves
34 right,
to the
and
local
we'll see
deli.
Afnan 1 Echo, so we'll execute that. Okay, so from Afnan 12,000 or below, MoveX 8,000 above, Lovan 8,000 or below and 220 knots. Muqsed, Lakma, yeah, that's correct. And then 4,000 feet going towards Ginot. Okay, that's good. We'll go autobike 3. Make the first exit. With active sky next is 12205, isn't it?
Abbreviated briefing from your current position to Oscar. Mike, Delta, Bravo 2, Oscar, Tango, Hotel. No SIGMETs active for your route of flight. No AirMets active for your route of flight. Current weather conditions, Oscar, Mike, Alpha, Zulu, wind 317 at 16, visibility 1.
No, so maybe 122025.
Oscar, Tango, Hotel, airport information, Mike 110, Zulu, weather, wind 328 at 17, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 15, dew point 5, QNH 1025, advice on initial contact, you have information, Mike, Oscar, Tango, Hotel, airport information, Mike 110, Zulu, weather, wind 328 at 17, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 15, dew point 5, QNH 1025, advice on initial contact, you have information, Mike, Oscar, Tango, Hotel.
Okay, so the wind is about 320 at 70 knots, 10 kilometers, sky clear, yep. QNH 1025, 15 degrees. Winter time. And the last thing to do is to set the VREF, so we go on the on this actually. It shows fuel 7 tons on landing, so we'll add the landing fuel to the 0 fuel weight we entered earlier on, so 215.2 plus 7 tons of fuel. That will give us a landing weight of 222.2. So we'll go back to the approach ref page, 222.2. We enter here, 222.2. Enter it here, and the gross weight is give us a flat 3141, and that's it. Yeah, sounds good. Rostfinger Gaming, it's a good question about the charts. Sometimes the charts are in the EFB here instead of having what I call, you may have heard me say that before, what I would call the lunch box there, which is basically you just flip that that little like cover, and then the flap like opens up and you have a big space where the EFB, or you know, the electronic fly bag, or like it's like a computer, can fit in there. So if you have the computer in there, you can use the charts directly from there. Otherwise, we've got like navigation bags with the charts, or sometimes like also like a little kind of laptop or some sort of like tablet with the charts on them. So there's like kind of 3 options: either the computer here on by the side, or otherwise the paper charts, kind of standard paper charts, or otherwise like I have a little laptop or like tablet sort of yeah, thing. So there's these are the 3 options really. If we have the paper charts, it's the job of whatever is called like flight support or navigation support or whatever to do the updates. We don't really look into that. And for the electronic version as well, it's done by engineering or whoever does that. Alright, briefing. So I need to do that for FS to crew to know what I'm gonna do. So I'll play this very quickly. And that's it. I may have my chart now. So the minimum's 240. Oops, 240 is.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be arriving via ATC vectors. As for the approach, we can expect the ILS. The decision altitude for this approach is 240 feet. For the landing configuration, we'll use flaps 30. The landing runway condition is dry, and on the auto brake, we'll use level 3. After landing, please turn on the APU. The arrival airport uses ASDEX, so leave the transponder on after landing. It looks like we'll be expecting a gate today. Taxi route will be assigned by ATC. As for concerns, both the weather and terrain are both factors for the arrival. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, that's the approach briefing complete.
Cool. We get the FMC message, reset MCP altitude. So because we're gonna fly the whole arrival, I'll take it easy. We'll fly in VNAV. I'll set the ILS platform altitude idle.
Check.
So it came back a little bit on the speed, and then once the speed is back to the descent speed, then the aircraft starts the descent. Very good. Descent checklist.
Stand by.
And say I want to do a 16 by 9 aspect ratio.
Recall.
That's the aspect
Checked.
ratio of
Notes.
1920 by 1080. So I'm going to go ahead and just create a box.
Auto brake level 3.
Like, let's
Landing
say about
data.
like that. And I'm just going to hit delete. and cut
VREF
it out.
is
So now what I'm
141,
going to do is
minimums
I'm gonna double-click over here on the
240
matrix
feet.
background. I'm going to say I want to do a drop shadow. Again, this is just my own personal
VREF
preference.
1.
I'm just
4,
doing this as a little
1.
demo for you guys. So I'm doing a little
Minimums
drop
2,
shadow. You can see this
0
shadowing
feet.
on the
Approach
edge there.
briefing.
completed.
And then I'm going to cut out another box,
Descent
but I want this one to be
complete.
a 4x3 for my camera. And
Transition
we'll just put it over here.
level, altimeters reset 1025.
There, and we're going to cut that out too.
1025. Set.
Only 91, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Good morning, good day to you. Mature Gamer HD, thank you very much for the hosting. Yeah, we do at the moment still have the paper charts in the flight deck as backup, yeah, in case the electronic version is kaput, yeah. FMC message, drag required. The speed is good, so I don't see why I should do this. So actually, Lutzen to kind of talk about the speed management in the descent. Maybe I won't actually follow the arrival and bypass the arrival a little bit. As you can see here on the screen there on the navigation display, kind of turns right, left, left, right again. So maybe what I'm gonna do is from Afnan go directly to Muxed. So I'll bring Muxed up here. Why is it going to Kupsa? What's going on? Hold on. Kupsa, Afnan, Nuvex, Muxed. Okay. We were just changing waypoints. Okay. So we'll do that. Now obviously we are getting a little bit high vertically on the descent profile. It's not really a big deal. We'll take a more like hands-on speed management. So we go on flight level change, we'll reduce 250 knots. Now we're approaching 10,000 feet. So basically for your speed management, try to be at least 250 knots or less, 250 knots or less below 10,000 feet. So already you've reduced your speed, like I'm doing at the moment. You're not zooming down at low level at 300 knots or whatever. So like already 10,000 feet, 250 knots. So you bring the speed a little bit more under control. And on this aircraft, to know your position, your vertical position in the descent, use the vertical deviation indicator here. At the moment it shows we are about 1,300 feet too high,
for landing.
and obviously at the moment it's decreasing, so we're kind of catching up on the profile. To help with the descent, I'm using speed brakes. At the moment you can see the speed brakes are fully extended, but then once we catch up with the profile, which is gonna happen fairly soon, and now back down to about 700 feet, then I can get rid of the speed brakes. Approach checklist.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be arriving at our
Approach
destination
checklist.
shortly.
Altimeters.
If you're making a connecting flight, please see the customer service agent
1025
leading the
set.
flight, or the video monitors inside the terminal for connecting gate
1025.
information.
Approach
For
checklist
your
complete.
continued safety, flight attendants will now walk through the cabin to secure it for landing. We'll collect any off-service items, newspapers and any other items that you wish to discard or may not
So
be
now we
taken off the
reached
aircraft
more or
with you.
less. So yeah, now we're gonna be about like 5,000 feet, so we can start like below 5,000 feet as well. You can let's say come back to about 220 knots. The up speed. You can see it says up, so you can come back to about 220, 221 knots. And then you're starting to get ready to extend the flaps once your speed comes back. Always keep an eye on on the vertical deviation indicator there. For the moment, it's we are slightly low on the profile, but that's okay. It's no big deal. And now Lagma, which is the